Welcome everyone to a new update video. Now, you may notice that the composition of this video is a bit different than my other videos, and there's a reason for that. My mom is interested in starting a YouTube channel. For those who have watched the other videos, they are well aware of this, but for those who haven't, she is. And she wanted my help in trying to find a good way to make videos. For example, teleprompters and better lighting, better frame composition. Now, these are things that I honestly didn't really take seriously at all. I basically just slapped the camera in front of my face, and then I clicked the record button, and boom, that was it. But looking back at my older videos and watching one of these videos that was a tutorial describing how to get better framing made me realize how amateurish my results ended up looking. And so I decided to take my composition and my lighting a bit more seriously to create a video that has more depth and simply just looks better. After getting that out of the way, I guess we can move on to how the day went. Today I was actually supposed to have off, but there was a coworker who was opening their 4 to 8 shift to anyone for the taking today. And I'm no stranger to saying yes please to more money, so I decided to take that shift. So pretty great. Most of the early parts of my day were spent watching construction videos with my mom so we could get ideas for how to improve our back room that we're trying to rent out. Because there's actually a door in the back room that leads to my mom's room, and this hasn't been a problem at all because the door is literally glued shut. But my mom has an issue with it because she believes that there's too much sound leakage and she can hear conversations happening in the next room over. And so she wanted to watch tutorials on how to install a drywall in that wall. So we looked up videos to get ideas. And we found quite a few that were very informative. From guys ripping the glass door out of the frame, and these were very big burly men, let me tell you, to dudes using nail guns to get the framing of the drywall area down where the former door used to be, to putting a putty around the drywall area to make sure that it would look seamless, so when you paint over it, it just looks like a normal wall. It was all very good information, and I'm glad we watched it. After this little excursion, my mom wanted to show me some videos she recorded with her new camera she got for her computer. She's planning on making a YouTube series called Choices, and what happens when you make good choices versus what happens when you make bad choices. And she thinks this is an avenue for fun storytelling. She wanted to show me all of the footage she recorded. She also wanted to show me all of the fun, silly filters that her computer has. If anyone remembers going into an Apple store and going through the fun video filters for cameras on the computers, be sure to let me know because boy oh boy was that a lot of fun to do back in the day. I loved that. Then eventually she had to go to work. And so what that meant was that I had the room all to myself. I needed to get stuff done. And one of the things that I needed to get done was figure out how the menu on her camera she got for her computer functioned. And so I was looking up a tutorial video, and apparently what you do is you hold the menu button for 3 seconds and it flips the menu around. This was actually an issue that we were running into, but luckily after resolving it, it's no longer an issue. Just a little bit of self-research and reflection does great help. After that, I decided it would be a great idea to go into my car and get air filled in my tires. Now, the thing with the air was that I normally go to a nearby gas station that has a free air pump, but the free air pump was out of service, so I couldn't use that. The next best thing that I could use was a car shop that was nearby. And luckily, they filled my air for free with a professional air fueling tool, which I am very deeply grateful for. After that experience, I was very hungry because I hadn't really eaten yet, and so I decided to drive to Wendy's. I picked up a Baconator with fries and a Coke Zero. It was ridiculously expensive though, it was like 20 bucks. Luckily, I did have $5 on me, but I still had to pay 15 bucks on card for it, which not great, but that's the economy right now. After this, decided to go home and eat my meal while watching a YouTube video. Now, the YouTube video that I decided to watch was a video from my favorite YouTube channel, Red Letter Media, their latest video, where they do whatever they can to restore an old Star Trek prop. And that might sound really boring and lame, but trust me when I say that it was one of the funniest and most entertaining videos I've seen in a while. Because these guys like start off doing the most strangest things to make this old plexiglass prop work, and you get to see the progression of their ideas and how it starts off not great and then it ends up being amazing. Very funny, very well put together. I would recommend it if you want to see something that fits those criteria. Finally, after that, I needed to use the restroom. Sorry for the personal details, but this is me recounting my day. And afterwards, there was a new YouTube video from one of my other favorite YouTube channels, Digital Foundry, talking about the highly optimized state of a game called Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and how it is one of the best optimized video games that's currently available right now, and beats and smacks out any big third-party AAA release that's been out on PC in the past 5 years, which really puts things into perspective because most big third parties use an engine called Unreal Engine 5, which apparently has severe stuttering and is poorly optimized for entry-level GPUs and hugely disappointing engine all around. But the people who made Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 decided to use the Crytek engine, which is an engine that was used to develop an old game called Crysis. And because they decided to utilize this old technology, it ended up making the game look and run incredibly smooth and consistent. And it actually ends up looking much better on entry-level GPUs than a lot of those Unreal Engine 5 games that look terrible on entry-level GPUs. So hats off to the developers for doing such an excellent job with the optimization of this game. After watching that, I needed to get dressed and go to work. So that's exactly what I did. It was only a 4-hour shift today, from 4 to 8. And yeah, it was a pretty good day, I would say. Although the supervisors were at the store, so it did create some tension in the air because, you know, I'm always on my best behavior no matter what, but you especially have to be on your best behavior when the supervisors pay a visit because they go back to corporate and report anything they see. So that's why you have to put 110% in, whereas before you would put 100%. There was a good tension in the area, I guess you could say. My first hour was spent pushing carts, and as I was doing this, normally what goes through my mind is just a lot of old songs and stories that I have experienced in my past, and I just kind of play them like reruns in my head to keep me, I guess, entertained as I do a very mundane but ultimately rewarding job. So yeah, next 2 hours were pretty hectic. Actually, the last 3 hours were very hectic. It was a consistent stream of customers. Also, there was orders that needed to be taken out to people's cars. And luckily, I had a coworker who could also do that job while I helped bag and while I was on my 10-minute break. So that definitely took some of the burden off. So that was great. And but the last hour was super hectic because I was put on the closing list Normally, you're put on the closing list if you're 9, 10, or 11 o'clock, but because I was 8 and there was only 2 other courtesy clerks there, I was asked to be on the list to help lighten the load because there was only 2 that were being closing rather than the regular 3. So I agreed to it, and it wasn't that bad at all, except for the fact that there was a consistent in-stream of customers who would always come in, and I had to help them out, especially the older folks, in case they need help with their cars. And because of this consistent in-stream of customers, when I did get a chance to do my closing duties, I also needed to do lot 2. So I had like 3 things I had to preoccupy myself with, and I got it all done, but boy was it a lot on my plate, let me tell you. To the point where I had to stay a half hour overtime to get my closing chores done. But, I'm glad that I was able to get it all done. Nothing's worse than getting nothing done and then feeling bad about it, and then your coworkers don't like you because you're not doing what you're supposed to. So luckily I did what I was supposed to, so that was great. Then I drove home, and when I got back, I was eating chicken and a boiled potato that my mom made for dinner. And I was watching a review of these new glasses called the X-Real 1. And what captures my attention about these glasses is that I have always been an extended reality guy. In terms of my interests, I love VR, I love XR, I love all that. And these glasses seem to be providing this promise that I have been so desperately hoping for a really long time, which is a slim, sleek form factor with a really sharp, punchy, bright image that you can make transparent or go off to the side of your view so it doesn't take up your entire view. And you can watch videos or play games with your own personal cinema screen. And that's what these glasses promise. So I'm actually thinking about getting myself a pair and seeing if they deliver that promise. So stay tuned for that. It's got to be really cool. My mom was wondering why would I be interested in this, and I told her exactly what I explained here, that the idea of your own personal cinema screen that you can take with you in your pocket without having to, hold the screen up like with your phone, and it only weighs about 87 grams on your face rather than like the ridiculous 350 grams of your average VR headset, sounds really appealing to me. I'm not gonna lie, that actually gets me excited. So I'm really looking forward to experiencing that. All right, I think that's about it for the day. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to edit this video, take my vitamins, brush my teeth, and go to sleep. Who knows, maybe I'll game if there's some time, but if I'm trying to go to bed before 12, latest 12:30 tonight, I get to be at work tomorrow from 10 to 7. So thanks for watching and have yourselves a wonderful day. Bye, everybody.